Son, I remember that day when one of my disciples came closer, watching me in silence while I prayed. In his eyes, he carried the same restlessness so many of you carry today. Am I praying the right way? Does God hear me? What am I supposed to say? When my time with the Father was over, he took a deep breath and asked, Lord, teach us to pray. Son, daughter, that request touched my heart deeply, not because he wanted a formula, but because he recognized his own need. Prayer is born exactly like that, in a humble heart that admits it still needs to learn. When you come before the Father with that spirit, you're already praying, even before any words. So often today you feel confused, pressured by anxiety, by loneliness, by hard choices, by the voices that rise up on social media, and you think you need to find the perfect sentence. But I tell you with love, don't be afraid. True prayer doesn't start on your lips. It starts in a heart that wants to see the way I see. That day, while the disciple waited for my answer, I reminded him that the Father is close, always close. He's not impressed by appearances, doesn't demand performance, isn't moved by fancy speeches. He listens to your breathing, your sigh, the outpouring that barely manages to become a sentence. And I looked at my disciple the same way I look at you now, with tenderness, and said, when you pray, go into your secret place. The secret place, son, is not just a physical room. It's the place where your heart becomes true. It's where you lay down the weight you've been carrying just to look strong. It's where you finally say, Father, I don't know, but I want to learn. And that's how prayer begins today as well. When anxiety tries to choke your thoughts, turn your eyes back to the Father and simply say, show me how to see, how to feel, how to discern. Teach me how to pray. I teach you again. God is close to those who cry out with sincerity. You don't need to know all the words or all the answers. You just need to open your heart and let the Father lead you. Son, there is something you can practice today. When you're restless, close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. And with a soft voice, or even without a voice, say, Lord, make my heart available. Teach me how to pray. Let that sentence open up space inside you, a space where I can meet you. And as we walk together through this series, I want to invite you to something very simple and full of love. If any part of this message touched your heart, son, share with me in the comments what spoke to you the most. I want to hear you, just as I heard my disciples that day. Peace be with you. Peace be with you, son. Son, I remember when you asked me to teach you how to pray, and I led you to what is both the simplest and the deepest. On that hill, while the wind moved between us, I said, when you pray, don't be like those who want to be seen. Instead, go into your room, close the door, and talk to your Father, who sees you in secret. I wanted you to understand that true prayer is not born from the desire to be noticed, but from the desire to be found. And you, today, living among so many screens, so many comparisons, so many eyes demanding perfection from you, maybe you've also felt that pressure to look spiritual, strong, unshakable. But I say to you with affection, that is not how the Father sees you. The Father looks at you in the inmost place. He searches you in the depths. He hears your heart even when you don't hear yourself. And then I gave you that prayer that still echoes today, generation after generation. Our Father who art in heaven. Son, do you see it? I could have said my Father, but I said our, because I wanted to include you. I wanted you to know you are not alone, that you will always belong to a spiritual family, loved and protected. Every line of the Our Father is a path. When you say, hallowed be your name, you're allowing God to purify your thoughts. When you ask, your will be done, you're learning to let go of the control that wears you out. When you pray, give us this day our daily bread, you're recognizing you don't need to drag all of tomorrow's worries into today. And when you say, "Forgive us our debts," you're being invited to release what weighs you down, what chains you, what hurts you. Son, daughter, the Our Father is not just a prayer. It's a path of transformation. It's like opening the windows of your soul so the light can come in, driving out anxiety, guilt, fear, comparison, discouragement. Today, in such a fast-paced world, this prayer becomes even more necessary. When you feel your thoughts are racing too fast, when your feelings are heavy, when your mind is full of voices, inside and out, that confuse you, do this. Say the Our Father slowly, very slowly. Let each line find you. Don't just say it. Feel it. Let my love reach you through these words I myself gave you. Son, don't forget, the Father is not far away. He sees you in the secret place. He knows you. He welcomes you. He shapes you. He guides you. And when you step into prayer with sincerity, you become more able to see the world through His eyes. Eyes of love, of hope, of discernment. And before we move on to the next moment, I want to leave you with a simple practice. Tonight, before you go to sleep, set aside 2 minutes, just 2. Close your eyes, breathe, and pray the Our Father slowly, like someone walking hand in hand with the Father. My beloved Son, I'm still with you. And if you want to keep receiving each new part of this time together, subscribe so you can walk with me in the next episodes. It's a simple step that keeps us walking side by side. Peace be with you, my beloved son. Son, I remember how many times I saw my disciples restless. They lived surrounded by uncertainty, carrying doubts, fears, responsibilities, questions that seemed bigger than they were. And many times when they lay down, their hearts were still awake, full of thoughts that wouldn't settle. Today, I see the same in you. I see when anxiety tries to squeeze your chest, when your mind runs through scenarios that may never happen, when that feeling of "I have to fix everything right now" drains you more than any physical effort. And that's why, son, the words Paul wrote years later still strike so deep. Do not be anxious about anything. Instead, in everything, present your request to God through prayer and petition with thanksgiving, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your heart and your mind. Son, those words were born from the same truth I taught them. Anxiety loses its strength when it is placed in the Father's hands. Anxiety grows when it tries to stay hidden. Anxiety increases when you try to control it on your own. But when you bring it to the Father like someone handing over a heavy stone they can't carry anymore, something starts to happen inside you. It's not magic. It's encounter. It's surrender. It's love wrapping you up and calming you down. Son, many people today think prayer is just talking, but praying is also letting go. It's like opening that tight fist that refuses to release what hurts. It's trusting that there is someone who sees beyond what you see and can lead you with wisdom. There are moments when you say, "But Lord, I've already prayed and I still feel anxious." I understand you. When I walked among you, I also saw people who prayed and still felt afraid. And I welcome them, because the Father doesn't demand perfection at the first step. He only asks for sincerity. The peace I give you, son, is not the peace of perfect circumstances, or of a life under control, or of a mind without challenges. The peace I give is a presence. It guards you from the inside out. It holds you up when nothing around you seems to change. It embraces you when you don't know what to do. That's why Paul said that this peace surpasses understanding. It's because it doesn't depend on explanations. It depends on surrender. And when you pray like this, "Father, here are my worries. Take what I can't carry anymore," it's as if I myself lay my hand over your heart and say, "I am here. Don't be afraid." Son, I want you to practice something simple today. When an anxious thought pops up, don't hide it. Call it by name before God. Say, "Father, I'm worried about this. I place it in your hands." And breathe deeply, like someone who really sets the weight down on the altar. Your mind, son, was not made to live in constant noise. Your heart was not created to be a battlefield without rest. You were created for peace, and I am with you to remind you of that, day after day. Let the Father wrap you up, my beloved son. Let prayer become your refuge. I teach you, I guide you, I hold you. Peace be with you. Peace be with you, my beloved son. Son. When Paul wrote, "Pray without ceasing," many people wondered how that could even be possible. Some thought it meant repeating words all day long. Others imagined they'd have to leave all their daily tasks to live in constant prayer. But the truth is gentler, more loving, deeper than that. Praying without ceasing is not an activity. It's a state of the heart. It's like keeping a window always open toward the Father. It's living each step knowing I am with you, breathing with you, guiding your gaze, your actions, your choices. I remember when we walked long distances together. Sometimes the sun was intense and the tiredness could be felt in our feet and shoulders. Some of my disciples thought prayer was only what they did when we stopped, when they knelt, or when I stepped aside to talk with the Father. But son, I prayed even while I walked. I prayed while I listened to stories. I prayed while I watched the fields, golden in the wind. I lived in constant conversation with the Father, even when I didn't speak a single word out loud. That's what I want to teach you today. When you're working, you can pray. When you're studying, you can pray. When you're driving, cooking, walking, taking care of someone, facing a conflict, making a decision, your soul can stay with me, breathing in my presence. Son, you don't need perfect moments to talk to the Father. Prayer is not a scheduled appointment. It's a way of living together. It's like making room inside you so my voice can find a place in the middle of your day. Maybe you think, but Lord, my mind gets distracted. I forget. I get filled with worries. And I tell you with love, I know. It was like that with my disciples too. That's why I taught them to be patient with themselves. Praying without ceasing is the practice of coming back, always coming back. Even when you get distracted, come back. Even when anxiety pulls you away, come back. Even when the day feels heavy, come back. I am always here. I never leave. In today's world, with so many notifications, voices, stimuli, and demands, training your heart to remain in prayer is like training your eyes to look for the light, even when everything feels overwhelming and confusing. I want to give you something simple to practice. Choose a short phrase that brings peace to your spirit. It could be, "Father, I'm here," or "Lord, guide my heart," or even, "Love is the way." Repeat it throughout your day, not as an empty ritual, but as a reminder of my love. Each time you say it, your thoughts line up a little more with mine, and little by little, prayer stops feeling like effort and becomes a way of living. Son, when prayer becomes part of your breathing, you start noticing signs you never saw before, answers that used to slip past you, comfort that once felt far away. Your heart becomes more attentive, more gentle, more wise, and you begin to see the world and yourself the way I see you. And before we move on, let me say this gently. If this message brought peace to your heart, share it and let more people find this light. Love grows stronger when it is shared, my beloved son. Peace be with you, my beloved son. Son, so many times when I walked among you, I saw weary hearts. I saw eyes that seemed to be searching for something beyond what they could see. I saw people carrying deep questions, old wounds, hidden fears. And many times I said to them, "Cry out. Don't keep for yourself what is weighing you down." That promise from Jeremiah, "Call to me and I will answer you," reveals something intimate about the Father's heart. He does not stay silent in the face of your cry. He is not far away. He is not indifferent. He doesn't hide himself from your honest prayers. Son, when you cry out, you're not shouting into an empty space. You are calling the one who formed you, who knows every part of you, who sees the full length of your story and can see paths where you only see dead ends. Many times, though, you think, but Lord, what if I'm asking for the wrong thing? What if what I want isn't the best? What if you don't hear me? I welcome you in those doubts because I know the world you live in has taught you to believe everything depends only on your effort, your logic, your control. But prayer, son, is exactly the place where you learn to walk with a vision bigger than your own. When God said, "I will show you great and hidden things you do not know," He was saying, "Let me open your eyes wider. Let me reveal what your mind can't see yet. Let me lead you down roads that look impossible right now, but that I've already prepared for you." Son, sometimes the answer comes gently, like a thought that brings peace. Sometimes it comes as a change of direction. Sometimes it comes as renewed strength. Other times it comes as silence, a silence that is not absence, but preparation. When I was among you, many cried out, the sick, the afflicted, the desperate, people who no longer had words, only tears. And I heard them, because the Father heard them. And it's the same with you today. Son, don't hold back your pain. Don't carry alone what is weighing you down. Don't be afraid of looking weak in front of God, because it is precisely in your weakness that He makes you stronger. I want to teach you a simple practice for today. When you feel a restlessness inside, don't let it grow in silence. Say, even if it's just in a whisper, "Father, I cry out to you. Lead me." And keep your heart open. Don't wait only for an instant solution. Also wait for discernment, for light, for understanding. Wait for the revealing of what was once hidden. Son, when you cry out, you draw near to the love that holds you up. Prayer opens a space where God can show you what your natural eyes can't see. And when you learn to cry out with confidence, your life stops being led by fear and starts being led by faith, not by circumstances, but by His presence. I am with you, my beloved son. Love is the way, and I walk right beside you every step of the way. Sons, how many times I watched people who believed God was far away. They came to me with a timid, almost insecure look, as if silently asking, "Does He really see me? Does He still care about me?" And I always received them with tenderness, because that same doubt still lives in many hearts today. The psalmist said, "The Lord is near to all who call on Him, to all who call on Him in truth." Son, do you see what that means? It doesn't say, "The Lord eventually comes closer." It doesn't say, "The Lord watches from a distance." It simply says, He is near. Near when you cry. Near when you're wondering what to do. Near when the silence feels too big. Near when no one else understands. Near even when you yourself are struggling to believe. I walked among you to reveal this truth. God is not a distant king sitting on unreachable thrones. He is a father. And a loving father does not abandon his child when they're confused. A merciful father does not turn his back when his child is exhausted. A tender father does not walk away when his child feels ashamed of their own weaknesses. Son, so many people today feel alone, even surrounded by others, even with so many online connections, so many messages, so many voices. Modern loneliness is not the absence of contact, it's the absence of real encounter. And I tell you with love, the Father wants to meet you exactly where you are. He does not wait for you to organize your feelings before coming to Him. He does not demand that your faith be perfect. He does not ask you to hide your pain. He only asks for honesty. The psalmist said, "Who call on Him in truth." And the truth, son, is exactly what you are living right now, without masks, without rehearsed phrases, without fear of not looking strong. When I walked through the villages, many came to me with a wounded soul. Some came asking for healing, others for comfort, some for wisdom, others just for presence. And before they even spoke, I had already noticed them. It's the same with the Father. He sees you before you speak. He understands you before you explain. He draws close before you even realize it. I want to teach you something gentle to practice today. When you feel lonely, Or when your heart feels heavy, place your hand on your chest and quietly say, "Father, I know you are near." Say it even if you don't feel anything in that moment. Say it even if your emotions don't follow along. Say it because it's true, not because you need to prove anything to yourself. The Father's nearness does not depend on what you feel. It depends on who He is. And He is love. And love does not abandon. Son. When you start to notice this presence, even in a gentle way, something changes inside you. Life is no longer lived alone. Your worries find a safe place to rest. Your decisions become lighter because you're no longer carrying them without company. Remember this: when you pray, you're not calling God to come to you. You're simply acknowledging the one who is already with you. I am here, my beloved Son, and the Father is even closer than you imagine. Rest in this truth. Breathe it in. Walk with it. Peace be with you, my beloved Son. Son, I remember how many times I said to you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Many heard these words and thought faith was just about believing hard enough, as if the power were in the strength of the mind. But faith, son, is not a strain. Faith is a rest. It's not about squeezing your eyes shut and trying to convince yourself. It's about trusting in the love of the Father, a love that does not fail, does not disappear, does not contradict itself. When I spoke about praying with faith, I was pointing to a greater truth. The Father hears your heart even before He hears your words. And when He hears you, He does not move out of obligation. He moves out of love. Son, I know that today many people are afraid to pray. Some think they don't deserve to be heard. Others are afraid to ask and end up disappointed. Some believe their faith is too small, too fragile, too unstable. And I tell you with tenderness, I am not asking you for perfect faith. I am asking you for real faith. A faith that says, Father, I trust you, even if I can't see yet. A faith that whispers, I surrender, even if it still hurts. A faith that declares, I believe, even if my feelings go up and down. Son, when I healed that man who brought me his tormented son, he said something to me that many still carry in their hearts. Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. And I welcomed him. I did not reject him because of his doubt. I did not demand a greater faith. I simply responded to the sincere heart that was opening up. That's how it is with you. You can say, Lord, I believe, but my faith feels small. And I will say to you, Son, I walk with your faith just as it is. Praying with faith is not about guaranteeing a specific outcome. It is trusting that the Father is already at work, even when you don't see it yet. It is believing that He is guiding you, even when the road looks dark. It is knowing that He is sustaining you, even on nights when you feel you have no strength left. Son, I want you to practice something simple today. When you make a request in prayer, finish by saying gently, Father, I trust in your love, and let that sentence rest in your spirit. Let it quiet your anxiety. Let it remind you that you are not at the mercy of random chance, nor lost in uncertainty. You are in the Father's hands, and He will never abandon you. Faith is not the absence of fear. Faith is the act of reaching out your hand even while it trembles, knowing that I will hold it. My beloved son, don't be afraid to trust. Love is the way, and I am here, guiding your heart every step of the way. Peace be with you, my beloved son. Son, so many times I saw troubled hearts struggling to find the words. I saw eyes filled with tears, lips trembling, restless hands. And I could see that, even wanting to pray, many simply couldn't express what they were going through. And I see the same in you today. There are moments when the pain is so deep, or the confusion so great, that your soul feels silent. And you think, Lord, I don't know how to pray. Son, don't condemn yourself for that. Prayer is not an exam. It's not a spiritual performance test. Prayer is an encounter. And true encounters don't depend on eloquence. They depend on the heart. That is why, later on, Paul wrote such a precious truth. The Spirit Himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. When you don't know how to pray, the Spirit prays for you. When you have no words, He does. When you are too tired to even form a request, He carries your pain to the Father. Son, this means you never pray alone. Not in the silence, not in exhaustion, not in uncertainty. Many people today carry the feeling that they have to be strong all the time, and even before God they try to fix themselves on the inside before they dare come close. But I tell you with love, you don't need to be strong to approach the Father. It is by approaching Him that you will find strength. I remember when a woman came to me crying, unable to explain everything she was living through. She simply touched my garment. Her heart said more than any sentence, and I heard her. It is the same with you. The Father understands even what you yourself still cannot sort out. Son, there are moments when you say, Lord, I want to pray, but I don't know where to start. And I answer you, Son, start with silence. I am there. Prayer doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be logical. It can be just this: a deep sigh, a sincere thought, a glance lifted toward heaven. And even so, the Spirit turns that simple gesture into powerful intercession. I want you to practice something gentle today. Sit down for 1 minute, just one. Take a deep breath and say simply, Lord, I don't know, but I open myself to you, and let the Spirit take it from there. He knows what's weighing on your heart. He knows what is hurting you, what is confusing you, what is worrying you. He knows how to translate your soul before the Father, even when you can't find words for it. Son, don't be afraid of silence. Don't be afraid of not knowing. Don't be afraid of your own fragility. True prayer doesn't depend on your ability. It depends on my presence, and I am with you. And remember, when you don't know how to pray, you are not failing. You are being welcomed, because it is precisely in that space of surrender that the Father embraces you with even more tenderness. I am here, my beloved Son. I walk with you even in those moments when you only manage to sigh in my direction. Love is the way, and I will guide you step by step. Peace be with you, my beloved Son. Son, how many times I watched people who believed God had forgotten them. I saw tired eyes, silent tears, hearts that no longer expected any answer at all, and yet they still cried out. Sometimes they cried out with a weak voice, sometimes with scattered words, sometimes only with an upward glance, as if saying, Lord, remember me. And that's why this verse is so precious. The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles. Son, I want you to grasp something deeply. God is not indifferent to your cry. He does not ignore your pain. He does not look away when you're in tears. When I walked among you, many cried out to me. There was a blind man who shouted my name while the crowd tried to silence him, but he cried out even louder, and I heard him. There was a woman who cried out for a miracle for her daughter, even while many around her rejected her, and I heard her. There was a desperate father who ran to me because his son was suffering, and I heard him too. Son, a sincere cry does not get lost in the air. It cuts through all the noise of life. It breaks through loneliness. It reaches the Father's heart. But I know that today many people carry the feeling that God answers others, but not them. Sometimes you think, Lord, I pray, I cry out, but nothing changes. And gently I tell you, son, when you cry out, something always changes. Sometimes what changes is the path. Sometimes it's your heart. Sometimes it's your strength. Sometimes it's the timing of the miracle. The Father doesn't just deliver you from the troubles on the outside. He also delivers you from the inner despair that tries to drag you away from hope. I want you to learn this. God is never running late. He is preparing. God is not silent. He is working. God is not ignoring you. He is holding you up. My beloved son, when the pain tightens, when anxiety rises, when loneliness shouts loudly, when you no longer know what else to do this. Close your eyes, place your hand on your chest, and say sincerely, Father, I cry out to you. See my anguish. Lead me. It doesn't need to be more than that, because sincerity opens doors that long speeches never open. Your cry pours out your soul in the Father's presence, and He answers, Son. He always answers, sometimes with freedom, sometimes with direction, sometimes with comfort, sometimes with strength. But He comes. He always comes. I am here with you, hearing your cry too. And as you walk, remember this. The Father does not leave you in the valley. He takes you by the hand and leads you out of it, step by step, until your soul can breathe again. My beloved son, rest in this truth. I am with you today and always. Son, I remember that night in the garden. The wind was gentle, but inside me there was a deep weight. My disciples were tired, so tired their eyes were struggling to stay open. And even then, with tenderness, I said to them, Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. Son, those words were not born as a harsh warning, but as loving care. I could see what they couldn't see. I could discern what they still didn't understand. I could feel the weight of the spiritual battle that was coming, and I wanted to protect them, not through force, but through watchfulness and prayer. Today, I say the same to you, not because I want to scare you, but because I love you, and because I know that in this world so full of distractions, pressures, injustices, emotional confusion, and subtle temptations, your heart needs protection. To watch means to notice what is trying to steal your peace. To watch is to stay aware of what drains you, what pulls you away from love, what distances you from the truth. To watch is to look within and recognize when your heart is growing heavy, when your joy is being drained, when your faith is being smothered. And to pray is how you keep your soul awake. To pray is the way you get your focus back when your mind wanders. To pray is the light that lets you see where your feet are stepping. To pray is the strength that keeps you from falling into temptations that disguise themselves as easy choices, quick shortcuts, or momentary relief. Son, I've seen you so many times choosing hard paths. You wrestle with thoughts that wear you down. You face constant comparisons. You carry a pressure that the world keeps trying to put on your shoulders. That's why, more than ever, watching and praying is still the path to freedom, discernment, and peace. Watching shows you what is affecting you. Prayer gives you strength to respond with love. Watching reveals the danger. Prayer keeps you from stumbling. Watching shows you your limits. Prayer shows you my infinite. When I asked the disciples to watch with me, I wasn't asking for company because I needed it. I was teaching them that no one stands firm alone. And today I tell you, son, don't try to face life relying only on your own strength. Don't try to defeat anxiety with logic alone. Don't try to resist temptation using only your willpower. Walk with me, watch with me, pray with me. I want to leave you with a gentle practice for today. Before you make any important decision, big or small, take a deep breath and ask the Father, Lord, does this draw me closer to you or pull me away? That simple question opens your eyes, brings light to your understanding, and guards your heart. My beloved son, temptation is not only what pulls you toward obvious wrong. Sometimes it is just the exhaustion that pulls you off center. It's the rush that drags you away from peace. It's the anxiety that makes you forget that I am with you. It's the fear that tries to silence your faith. That's why I say, watch and pray. That way your soul stays awake. That way your heart remains sensitive. That way you keep walking in the light even when the world around you looks dark. Son, we've reached the end of this series, but not the end of the journey. I keep walking with you. I protect you. I guide you. I hold you with mercy. And I say to you one last time, with eternal love, do not be afraid. Love is the way, and I am here.